Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Strength for Your Purpose podcast. I really wound up on that one there. Dr. Phil Finemore here with WorkFitME Mobile Physical Therapy. This podcast is powered by WorkFitME Mobile PT, helping you hardworking Maine professionals build a resilient body that you can be confident in so you can live a happy, healthy, and wealthy life doing what you love with who you love. Back here for another episode. Holy cow, Thanksgiving is this week. What? Huh? Um, can't believe it. We're already here, end of November. A little bit scary. It's okay. We're gonna get through this together, everybody. Okay, we're gonna get through this together. I hope you all have been doing really well. I know I have. And on today's episode, I alluded to this on the last episode. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. Episode 140, titled Prehab. Some really interesting stuff there. But this week, we're going to talk about exactly what I teased in that last episode, which is we are made to move. Okay. Seems pretty simple because we do it every day. But the thing that I find is people are very quick to accept that maybe I'm not supposed to move this way or that way because maybe things start hurting or things change a little bit as we go through our natural aging processes in life. Okay. So that's really what I want to talk about here, is how we sort of systematically and maybe systemically give up on certain things and certain movements because they hurt or they're harder to do or whatever the case might be. But I've got really good news. We can fix that. Okay. So again, it seems very obvious that our body is made to move. It's what it is. It's made up of muscles, which attach to bone, via tendon, and that's how the muscle can pull on the bone and make it move so it can do its job. We have ligaments that hook all the bones together with cartilage in between those areas, and fluid called synovial fluid that helps our joints move and not hurt and all that stuff, right? We are a well-oiled machine, and I didn't even get into the nervous system there because there's way too much to really explain about that, but it basically talks to those muscles and makes them move and tells us where our body is in space and is giving us information about our environment in so many ways every waking passing second. Okay. Our bodies are made to handle what we put them through to a point, right? I mean, some of those things are fragile, right? To a point, but our bodies are made to move. And yes, as we age, there are some things that happen that make that harder. Okay. We do tend to lose a certain amount of muscle mass. We lose a certain amount of bone density. We lose a certain amount of height every year. And that's all true. But the rate at which we lose those things and how much of it we lose, we can have an effect on. Not necessarily the height thing or the water content in our body, which makes some of our soft tissues a little less resilient than they were before. But as far as muscle mass and as far as bone density, you can have a major effect of that at any age and any stage of life. We can fend off significant amounts of the loss we have in our muscle and our bones with age. And we just have to do it the right way, because if an area of our body isn't prepared to move the way we need to make it move to move better, you follow me there? I know that was a lot. We went a few different ways there, but if our body is not prepared to move the way we need to move it to make it move more efficiently and stronger and all of that, we could hurt ourselves. We really could. The other thing we need to keep in mind is that as we go through life, that aging process does make it harder for us to make those changes. Okay. That's why it's never too soon to get started doing that, to be moving your body more often and under the right amount of load and the right ways. Okay. I think that's the real important part here. Actually, the most important thing is that you just move. Okay. You should move in a way that you are going to move and do so on a regular basis. Okay. That is the general recommendation for exercise nowadays, is just do the thing. Okay. Whatever that thing is, just do it. Whatever is most likely to make you move and exercise and move your body efficiently and get your heart rate up a little bit and get you sweating a little bit, Just do it. Okay. With that being said, if we want to optimize that, we have to have a good combination of general movement, walking, doing heavier housework, doing heavier outdoor work, whatever the case might be, along with some maybe slightly more cardio heavy type movements and some strength movements. Okay. Strength training. Okay. That right there is optimal. We talked about this quite a bit actually a few episodes ago, probably 4 to 5 episodes ago, with Andrew Herman from Iron Legion Strength Co. when we talked about NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is just a really fancy way of saying the stuff you do outside of activity that increases your activity levels, that isn't just like working or doing dishes, but it's, going for walks, walking the dog, playing with the kids, heavy yard work, heavy housework, stuff like that, and just increasing overall activity levels. That stuff's real important, right? So some of that stuff is cardiovascularly based and things like that. But having some sort of cardio, having a really good movement routine, so you're moving your body multiple hours per day, and staying active and not being sedentary during your day, just in general, and in your free time and things like that. And then progressive strength training is going to help. Okay, so those are kind of like general recommendations of what I'm talking about here when I'm saying we are made to move. And from sort of an aging and I guess more of like a rehab perspective, because obviously that's where my area of expertise lies. Um, we we really need to listen to our body when it's telling us it doesn't want to move this way anymore, but that doesn't mean we should stop trying to figure out a way to move that way. Okay. And that's where the help comes in. Okay. That's where you need help. So if you hear me say things like going for walks, playing with the kids, heavy housework, plus some cardio and strength training, and a part of your body already hurts just thinking about all that, right? We might need to lay a bit of a foundation to get you to that point here. Okay. That's been a theme, kind of at least 3 out of the last 4 episodes or so, including this one, we've talked about laying that foundation, but it's true. Okay. So when our bodies are more resistant to a certain type of motion, and a certain type of air in our bodies resistant to a certain type of motion, whether that resistance is just tightness, or whether it's a combination of tightness and pain, whether it's just pain that's preventing us from getting there, we should listen to that, but we should do something about it. Okay. Don't just chalk it up to I'm old now. Okay. Don't do that. Don't do that, because I've just seen way too many people do that, and do that at too young of an age. And by the time they're 70, they can't do stuff that people who are 80 who don't have that mindset can do. Okay. And yes, genetics make up a factor in this, but the way you think about yourself and your body and whether it should or shouldn't move has a massive, massive impact. Okay. You've heard me say this on this podcast before. The number one cause of falling is being afraid to fall. Okay. That's all between the ears. That's all in your mindset. Okay. So the way that we think about how our body moves and whether we should or shouldn't do it has a massive impact here. And we need to listen to our bodies when pain is there. We need to listen to that, because that tells us something is wrong, but we need to address it. Okay. Age does not equal pain. Age does not have to equal stiffness and everything just harder to move. Age does not have to mean weakness and falling. It doesn't have to mean any of that. We are made to move. We are made to move efficiently and with strength and with power and with finesse all at the same time. And if we optimize that and we work on it, we can see the changes we want to see with all of that. Okay. So that's what I really want to just drive home here, is we are made to move. And when our body isn't moving a certain way because of stiffness, pain, or some combination of those things, we need to listen. We need to address it. And if we need help addressing it, reach out. Reach out. Whether I can help you or not, I'm happy to funnel you to the person that can help you the most with what you are dealing with, whether that is myself or someone that I know, trust, and respect, who will take great care of you. But get help. And if you want to move more, but you feel like you can't, again, let's not chalk it up to age. Let's not chalk it up to, well, that's just not in the cards for me. Let's do the progression that we need to do to get you to that point. Okay. I think that's my big point here. I felt like I rambled and went every which way there, but I think I drove the point home there a little bit at the end. So if you're confused or you have questions or any of this sounds like you, don't be afraid to reach out. My info is in the show notes. That's all I have for this week. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Go have a great time enjoying time with your family. And we will see you back here next time on the Strength for Your Purpose podcast. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.